Since the dawn of man, we've looked up the stars and wondered. The night skies give cryptic answers, but still we ask and wonder. Curiosity has led us to many strange places. Sometimes we're rewarded by the curiosity, and sometimes we regret what we find lurking in the darkness. This is my journey, an attempt to bring lightness to dark places and understanding where there's been only mystery. Please join me as I traverse the night. Hello, and welcome to another episode of Nighttripper. This is episode 2, and we have a guest, our first guest, Miss Carrie. How are you, Carrie?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm excellent. Thank you for being on the show. It's a lot easier, I think, to have someone to bounce things off of or have conversations. I can just blend, like talk for a while, but after a while, it's nice to have
Agree.
someone to talk to. Is this your first podcast? Have you ever been on one before?
100%. My very first.
All right.
So
All right.
I'm a
Awesome.
virgin.
All right.
Podcast
Let's go.
virgin.
Um, so you and I are friends. We've known each other for about 5 years now
I think so. I was thinking about that today.
in
I
that
was like, was it
area.
2020 or 2021? Somewhere
Yeah,
around there.
I don't even know. It's been a while.
Yeah.
It's been a minute. It's been a minute.
Yeah. Yeah.
But so you're not like a stranger that I don't know. We've talked and had plenty of conversations. And I think I brought it up in the first episode or the introductory thing that I did, where I've always wanted to do something with I have the Facebook page. I've had that Facebook page Nighttripper since I don't know, like 2017 or 18 or something. It's been a long time, but I didn't really know what to do with it. And I like the idea. I've always been interested and curious, but I wanted to do something with that Facebook page as kind of like the hub of just things that I wanted to post, things that are interesting, things that delve into unknown and mysteries and unexplained stuff, things that interest me. And so I would occasionally throughout the years I would post something, like if I was in New York a few years ago, and for some reason it occurred to me, I'm like, I'm in New York. Where's the Amityville house? And so I did a search and it was like 50 minutes away. So I'm like, I'm going. So I drove there
Seriously.
and checked it out. And I was a lurker taking pictures and stuff. But it kind of started there where I was like, I could go to different places. I can use this traveling job and kind of explore and see,
Oh, yeah.
like haunted places or places of interest, places that have, history, cultural, things that, and it seems like everywhere that you go, there's always like
Oh,
a story, a ghost story, or,
yes.
folklore of that. And that always interested me too. Um,
100%. I'm the same way when I travel.
yeah. I mean, that's part of like the tapestry of the towns that you go to is, that old history and stuff. And the town that we live in here, we live in the
Yeah.
same town, and I'm sure it's got definitely some
Oh, I'm sure.
some stories and history and folklore just on its own.
I haven't even thought about that, to be honest with you.
Yeah, this
So
town's been around for a while, but
I'm sure there's some ghost stories.
oh, I'm sure. And I know there's haunted houses here, and I'm
Oh
sure
yeah.
you've heard about houses that
I was just thinking, I'm like, as you say that, I'm like, I'm not so sure I have really
really.
heard of, yeah. But, you know, I'm coming in as a skeptic, so
Yes.
it might not have been in my circles of
You're
conversation
like, ah.
either. So, right? Yeah, somebody might have mentioned it. I'm like, well, okay.
And
But yeah,
that's something that I thought would be interesting for the show too, is to have a friend, but have someone that's not necessarily a believer in things. So I thought it would be cool to have like a, a counterpoint kind of thing, or devil's advocate, or someone that's not really fully convinced about these things. You know.
I'm ready to be convinced. I, have my mind is open for sure. I mean, there's a genuine curiosity there
Mhm.
to
That's
know.
yeah. That's all you need. I think is just that open-mindedness. That the world is a big place, and there might be more shit that we know about. Like that.
Oh, for sure. I I didn't really feel that way, until just recently. Like this is like relatively recent in the past couple months. I'm not even sure what it was that kind of kicked it off. Well, no, I lied. You know what? It was a Netflix special.
Hmm. What was it?
Um 28 Days Haunted, and it was done by I think it was the son-in-law of the people that did The Conjuring, Lorraine.
Okay.
And I don't even know all the lingo yet. You know what I mean? I'm still kind of learning about what this is and the people and whatnot. But they immersed these three teams in three different haunted locations around the United States, and they were there and they didn't leave for 28 days
Oh wow.
because apparently there was a 28-day cycle. That What was her husband's name?
I was just thinking about that when you're talking. It's like
I can't.
Bill, or
Yeah,
it's like a normal American.
right.
I
Um,
I can look it up while we're
it's
talking.
yeah, and this 28-day cycle apparently is what they felt like the spirits or whatever you're going to call them, like really kind of come out. And so yeah, they immersed them for 28 days, and oh my goodness, they didn't know anything about what the history was, where they were at. They didn't know anything. They were just kind of dropped there and had to determine it. And this one team completely had me like, okay, there's a little something here. And it was a
Hmm.
medium, and I don't know what he was, but demonologist or something like that. But it was real. She had it nailed down to almost the last T on that story, from the things that she was hearing and seeing and
Really?
being told. Yeah.
Wow.
And she really connected with these spirits in this place. If you have not seen it, I think it's still on there.
I'll check it out.
You you need to check it out. So that kind of started the whole curiosity thing for
Ed and
me.
Lorraine Warren.
There
Yeah,
you go.
Ed.
Yep.
So
So
you weren't really like, I mean, of course you know about ghosts and heard about them and stuff, but you never really paid attention or really paid it any mind.
not
And then, so what made you watch this show? Like, what made you like, yeah, I'll give it a try?
I think my husband probably he has a little bit more open-mindedness about
Hmm.
that stuff, and it'd probably come up in some other areas, and or it was, I don't know if it was before or after, and it might have been that combined with, I think could have been, we went to St. Louis and we did a ghost tour, and we had my my daughter, who I think she was, I don't know, 11, 10, 11 or something like that at the time. I'm like, oh, but she was interested. She was really keen to go. And it wasn't like super scary or anything like that, but it was definitely interesting enough to pique it. So I think between those two incidents, between that and then watching that Netflix special, that really kind of cinched it for me, to be honest with you, into I need to look into it a little bit more.
Hmm.
So but because never personally having an experience, it's like, but I'm also not, um, I don't know what I want to say there, but I'm also not naive enough to not think that there isn't something else out there,
Right.
that there's, that I don't know at all.
Right. And I think that's a good starting point to where, you're open minded and thinking that there's a lot more going on than what we understand.
Hmm.
And we could have no idea. I mean, it could be all guesses and stuff, but just that, I think just that curiosity and that open mindedness is a great start. Um,
Yeah.
I don't know. I guess I had told you, I didn't really think about ghosts. Like it was not really, I mean, I was interested in all that different stuff. My mom was really open with her curiosity. I remember she had a library of books, and um, one of them it was it had to do with Anton LaFey, who was the priest, like the head priest of, or LaVey, Anton LaVey was the priest of the Church of Satan.
Oh,
And so she had this book that was like about his life and times or history or something like that. And I remember going through it, like I was kind of afraid, but I was kind of curious. And there was pictures of him and stuff, and he died like an early death. But it was just an interesting kind of book. And so she was really open minded. She didn't hide her curiosities and stuff like that. So, um,
Church of Satan. I've never
Church of
even
Satan.
heard of that.
You never heard of the Church of Satan? It's a
I have
real, yeah,
not.
there's like chapters and there's like there's churches all over. And, but
Really?
people think that, not to get off on a tangent, because I do, but it's not what people think. Like it's not like devil horns and pitchforks and stuff like that. I think they believe in chaos, like more than the actual, maybe the deity. I'm not sure, but it's
Well, I'm probably gonna look it up
you
because
should.
that's how
Yeah,
it
you
works
should
for me.
definitely. It's an interesting. It's more like a philosophy, and some of
Okay.
them get kind of deep into it with rituals and stuff like that. But it's more sophisticated than probably people realize. But anyways, so she had like a lot of kind of different occult books and stuff, and it was interesting to me. But I guess I didn't really analyze it. I didn't really think about it much. And then when I experienced something, um, that's when it opened my eyes. So it's almost like you can ease into like the world of whatever it is, believing in the unexplained or whatever, or you can be like forced into it, where it's like, what is this, and
Hmm.
I would rather be curious and ease into it, but I think both can be shocking.
Well, 100%. I think if I was forced into it, I think that's kind of why it's always been I was expecting that's how you figured out. Like that's
Hmm.
how you all these people are like, "Oh my God, this is what happened." And I'm like, "Yeah, well, that's never happened to me." So, I can't say anything about it. However, I remember watching Ghostbusters when I was little, and the librarian, she got me. I loved
Yeah,
that movie, still love that
I
movie
did
to
too.
this day, but um she got me, and that's not the kind of forced into, ghosts that I want. Thanks. I think I would rather, just, I don't even know what would be another way, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, I think at any point in time it's going to be kind of forced, and it would probably still make me probably pee my pants a little.
I
Not
was
gonna
gonna I
lie.
was gonna ask you, like, say you're, walking Buster, and you're, or you look out your window, and see, you've got
Oh,
some little wooded area in your behind your house, and you saw something that definitely wasn't a person. Like, what do you think your reaction would be to something like that, to seeing something like that? And I don't mean to freak you out or anything,
no.
but
No, that's
what?
probably part of the, I would probably freak out a little bit.
Mhm.
I would try to explain it away.
I could see you knowing you. I could see you doing that,
I
like
would try
trying to like rationalize.
100% rationalize it. That's why I am curious to see what's out there, because I need to not be able to rationalize it, you
Now,
know?
do you think that there's things that you wouldn't be able to, and like how would
Oh
you
yeah. Yeah.
how
I
would you be
think
able to do that? Would you be able to like accept it? Like, you know what? That's a fucking ghost. Like, there's no.
hmm that's exactly what it would be too. I'm not so stubborn in the sense that I'd be like, nope, 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 it's this and it's not that. You
Yeah.
know, it's not, no way it's a ghost. It's got to be this. No, if there's no, I think that's where my openness comes into this, right? Like, if there is no rational explanation for it, then that's what it is. It's a
Hmm.
ghost, you know. And I think I'm waiting for that. That's what I
Yeah.
want. That's
Yeah.
why I want a ghost hunt. You know, that's,
I
yeah,
think it's
let's do it.
interesting that you are kind of, going head on. Like, you're looking for that, like you want that kind of. I mean, maybe you're not looking for a ghost, but
No,
maybe some of you are. Maybe something in you is.
I think it is, and I think it's kind of all part of spirituality.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? It's, and not to get religious, because spirituality in my mind is different than religious.
Hmm.
And definitely in my life I've always been spiritual, and there are things that I believe that, like spirit animals. I mean, my spirit animal 1000% is an eagle. Saw one today.
Did you
Flew,
really?
flew over my car.
That's awesome. Like right over
And
your car,
right
or
over my car. Happens a
what?
lot. Happens
What?
a lot.
This
That's what I'm
world, I'm
saying.
telling you.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, it's like I didn't pick the eagle, it picked me.
Hmm.
And so that too was probably the start of this whole curiosity too, into this whole paranormal, spiritual realm. I have, I like crystals and rocks and all the things, right? And nature, it's all kind of for me part and parcel of this. You know
Hmm.
what I mean? That's why I say I'm not naive enough to think that we're it, right? And
Right.
I grew up with God in the Methodist
Me
church.
too.
That's what my grandma, that's where we went, right? And so I have that kind of base framework, but there's other things, right? And so I think that's why I think they can both kind of,
Coexist.
yeah, yeah, I
Yeah,
really
totally.
do. So,
And I think I'm with you. Like, I would say that I'm analytical, but I'm also really open minded and wanting to believe in things. But I think, like, that search for the unknown, your brain, I think, wants to try and piece together how things work, why things work, like all the inner
oh,
machinations of
100%.
the universe. Like, our brains are probably not big enough to fully comprehend or
Uh,
grasp, but it's that need, I think, like that
100,
that need to understand, you know as much as we can.
yes, 100%. Like, I'm always learning. I had a friend that used to call me a lifetime college student because, well, it took me forever in college to get my degree, but because I was just always learning.
Mm.
about something, and now it's like I get to pick what I get to learn, what I want to learn about, versus
Heck
being
yeah.
told what to learn
That's
about.
much more interesting
Way more,
when you're not forced to learn something. You learn what your brain
for
is
sure.
naturally curious for.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I like I never know when to go into like all the stories that I have. I think the first thing um, that I think I experienced was a house that me and my sister and my dad lived in, and it was right after my mom died. And I don't know if that has anything to do with it. I don't think it was her per se, but it was an odd experience. And then it got worse. But um, I was probably 13, I think. And my mom died suddenly, as you know. And I went to live with my dad and his girlfriend, and they had two kids, and one was on the way. And it was just a different, not to get too into it, but it was just a different cultural, it
Sure.
was just a different,
Different feeling,
and
different setup, different everything.
yeah, different everything. The house was not an old house that we lived in. I moved from, this was in California. I moved from a town called Clovis where I lived with my mom when she died suddenly. Stayed with my grandma for a while, and then I wanted to be with my dad, so I lived with my dad out near LA. And this house was not old. I mean, it was like a track home where they kind of all looked
Hmm.
the same.
Yeah.
And it seemed fine. Like, and I don't know if I had like that feeling of things, like, feeling things around me or whatever. Like, I don't think I noticed that when I was younger. I think I noticed it more as I was older.
Mhm.
But I remember there was sounds that were in the attic above my room.
Mm.
And I think my sister's room was next to mine, and I could hear like noises above us. And I know this sounds like super cliched, but it sounded like chains.
Oh, well,
It
chains,
sounded like
footsteps,
chains. Yeah. And it was like clanking and
Oh,
like picking them up and dropping them, and it would go on at night. And I'm getting chills now as I think
yeah.
about it. This is like, do the math. If I'm 13 and
Hmm.
I'm 52 now, what, 40,
Almost
30?
40 years ago.
Yeah, almost 40 years ago. Um, and so me and my sister were stupidly curious. We're like, what could that be? And we would talk about it, and we were curious. And so we got a chair, and there's a little panel in the hallway where you lift up,
Yep.
and you can peer in. What's funny is that we were too short. We opened up the panel, and I swear that that's when things really ramped up in
You
this
let something
house.
out.
That's I don't understand. I don't know why or how, but that's how it seemed.
It sounds like it.
Um,
If,
I didn't believe then, though. Like, I was not fully vested, because I think when you're a kid, your mind is much more open. Like,
mhm. Oh,
we don't
yeah.
draw those lines where, this is real, this is not real. I think when we're
Right.
older, we're kind of forced to live in that reality that there is no Loch Ness monster. Meanwhile,
Right.
I'm reading books about it in school, curious about what it is, because of course it could exist. Of course it could be real, you know?
I was always interested in the Loch Ness and
Me
Nessie.
too. We should talk
That's
about it sometime.
for sure.
Um,
Um,
Go
yeah,
ahead.
well, no, I was just gonna say about kids' minds. I mean, definitely more open. They haven't been um exposed to societal norms,
Yes.
but they also can't conceive maybe necessarily of something, you know, as big as what they could be hearing too. I
Right.
mean, unless of course they're exposed to, ghost stories and all those horror movies and stuff like that or whatever growing up. So, were you? Did you watch ghost
Yeah,
movies and horror stories and stuff like
see, I
that?
didn't connect to that stuff. Like me and my friend
Mm.
Sean, we loved, slasher movies and weird, all kinds of, there was a movie called Ghost Story that I loved as a kid, but it scared the crap out of me.
Yeah.
So, and see, that's another thing that I want to talk about at some point, maybe on a different episode, is the perception that ghosts are evil or scary or that can
Hmm.
hurt you. Like,
Yep.
to me, that seems not silly, but it's almost like it's like a trope that, they use in the movies. Like,
Oh, yeah.
there's a
It's
ghost and it's gonna,
it's
it's gonna
always got
get
to
you.
be evil. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
propagandized and
Yes. Good
definitely
word.
even too by religion,
Hmm. Oh
you
yeah, for
know,
sure. For sure. And I
exorcisms
don't know
and all the
where that
things and such.
the religion and the whole, ghost thing,
That
it's
could be its own episode
a
too.
total episode for sure.
I just had
For
that
sure.
conversation the other day. It's like, I don't know if it was with you or if it was with Jeremy, but it was about like, if religion doesn't believe in that, right?
Hmm.
Truly, then why are they performing exorcisms?
Right.
You know what I mean? If they're
And if
not,
they're real
if it's
secretive about it too.
yeah, so something ain't right there. But anyways, I
Yeah. Yeah.
digress. We could
I'm with
digress for
Oh
hours
yeah. And we will be progressing many times, I'm sure.
for sure.
But yeah, so that's when things really, and at first I wasn't really open-minded about it. Like I didn't think about it. I'm hearing stuff, but I think it's my father-in-law downstairs. Um, but it was like a slow awareness of things being different in the house.
Hmm.
We were alone a lot. My dad worked early hours, but would come home 7 or 8 o'clock at night. And so me and my sister were by ourselves a lot. She was in her room a lot. She was in that phase. She was 15
Hmm.
and into like goth and like The Cure and stuff like that. So she had, her music blaring and stuff. And she had no time for a little brother that was, wanting to hang out with her. But I just started noticing,
Hmm.
or my sister would say, yeah, for some reason the TV turned off by itself, or the door to the washer was open even though I closed it. Just little things like that. And I was like, huh, and it didn't really piece together. Like it didn't really um become something.
Right.
Um and now that I think about it, the things that happened there, none of it was like trying to scare me.
Hmm.
I think it's that fear of unknown,
Oh yeah.
the fear of confronting whatever that is,
Oh
whatever,
yeah.
that whatever it is. Um, but it's just deep inside us that, that fear. Um, but my stepmom, they were very turbulent. So my stepmom moved out. And so my dad was like, hey, she's gone. So I'm just going to go party. So like he would stay out until 12, 1, 2 a.m. And my sister started to, and we talked about it a little bit, like, you know, this house is weird. We're noticing things. And she, excuse me, really started to get spooked by things. She said, I'm trying to remember the things that she said specifically about that house, but she would hear people talking. She would see things. And so after a while, she's like, I'm out. So she went to move with her boyfriend. So then it
Wow.
was just me and my dad.
It spooked her enough that she moved.
Yeah, she
Wow.
moved. So and I think about this now and that it's a psychological thing. Like
Oh yeah.
it's almost tormenting, like I wanted
Oh.
to talk to someone about it, but there was no one really. Like I would tell my dad, I'm like, Dad, this house is weird. Like I got weird, I just get a weird feeling. I feel like I'm being watched. And he'd be like, I mean, he would listen at first, like, I don't know what you're talking about. Like, this
Mhm.
house is fine. And, when it was just me, that's when it became like really traumatic because I didn't know how to justify. Like, I didn't know, like, there was no one to explain, like, what was
Mhm.
going on. So I was kind
Yeah.
of dealing with, what is this? Why is this on my own?
Yeah.
And I was like totally alone. I just felt so overwhelmed.
Oh.
Examples. Um, I didn't like to sleep with my door closed. I would always, ever since I was a kid, I would leave it open, and I don't know why. But my sister closed her door, so I was like, you know what? I'm a big kid. I'm gonna close my door. So I would close my door, and the hallway light would be on. Nobody's home. I would see shadows stop in front of the doorway.
Oh.
I could hear footsteps. I'm getting chills. I could hear
Mm.
footsteps walking on the carpet down the hallway.
Oh my
And
goodness.
I would just lay there in bed and just listen. And the house was so quiet, but I could hear the footsteps and
My
I
heart.
could see the shadow under the doorway. And there's something that's really traumatic when you're just waiting.
Mhm.
I remember looking out. My grandparents had a farm and there was no lights. This is like the 70s and 80s. So there was no street lights. There was no,
Mhm.
and my grandparents had like a mounted light in the back of the house. And there was like a circle of light and you couldn't see past it. I knew what was past it. It was a garden. It was, acres of, land that my grandparents owned. But just where the darkness start or ended and the light started, I would just watch. Like I would look out my window and just like wait.
Oh.
And that waiting does damage. You know what I
Yeah, it
mean?
does.
Because
Oh
your
yeah.
imagination um,
Crazy wild.
can fill in blanks that you don't want to,
Mhm.
fill in. But so I seeing the shadows underneath, and I would get home and I would go through the garage. I'd open the garage door, go through, and I remember the house was empty. It was just me and my dad. He wouldn't be home until 12, 1 or 2 in the morning. I'd get home at like 3, 3:30, and I would go right before I would go into the actual house through the garage. I could hear people talking. I could never make out what they're saying, but it was two different voices that were conversing, and it I didn't understand. Like it didn't make sense. I know there was nothing on. My dad wasn't paying cable because he
Mhm.
wasn't there to watch it. So, I would watch cassettes, movies and stuff like that. But I knew better. I knew that it wasn't, you know,
Right.
um, and that did damage. Like I would go and I would sit in the front yard because I didn't want to hear the voices. I didn't want to hear what they had to say. I couldn't understand what they said. Um, and then I think the worst thing was I had a friend over. He was younger than me. I think he was probably 11, and he was the cool kid in the neighborhood, and he lived about 4 houses down, 5 houses down, and I said I was so starved for people to be around. Like I didn't want to go into the house. Like I would stay outside until my dad came home, or I would come home and go straight to bed, to sleep.
Mhm.
And I was like, "You want to come over? Do you want to watch a movie or something?" And he's like, "Sure." I don't remember the movie that I put on. I think it was like Coming to America or something. It was like a 80s comedy, and dogs are barking. And so we were in the living room, and the TV's over here. Hush. TV's over here. My back is against the wall. It's a couch. He's in a chair next to me. We're both looking at the TV. The hallway is over here. And I'm looking at the TV, and at the corner of my eye, this black
Mm.
cloud about the size of your arms out. I don't know how it didn't have a shape. It was
Right.
just a black thing.
Mhm.
Leaves the wall right
Mm.
beside me and goes down the hallway and around the corner. Kind of like a mouse that you see running, you know, you're in shock.
Yeah.
But is that
Did
what it
your
was?
did your friend see it?
I saw it. I didn't react because by this time I'm used to whatever. I'd never seen anything, but I'd experienced a lot, that psychological warfare that was going on, hearing the footsteps, seeing shadows under the doorway. My sister was said that one time she was cutting vegetables in the kitchen and she felt someone behind her and said, "Oh, hey, Dad," and turned around and he wasn't there. Dad wasn't home yet.
Mm.
So I saw it, and it almost looked like when you stare at the light for too long and it burns,
Mhm.
that light in your eye. That's
Yep.
what it looked like to me. And it happened fast, but it was almost casual how it went down the hallway.
Mhm.
And I'm not going to say anything. I'm not going to react. So I turn and I look at my friend, and his mouth is open. His mouth is wide open. He
He
saw it.
saw it.
He saw it.
Oh my gosh. Did he go running screaming from the house?
David, David, what was his last name? I don't remember. He got up, didn't look at me, didn't say anything, got up, and I feel like he laughed, which is weird, but maybe it was like he didn't know how to react, you
Could be.
know, like
Mhm.
it scared him so bad, like his reaction was just laughter. But I
Mhm.
think I remember him getting up and laughing, and he literally ran to the front door
Oh
and
my
would not come
gosh.
back, would not come back.
Oh,
And that was probably the worst thing. But thinking about it now 40 years later, yeah, it would scare me. It would scare me now if I saw stuff like that. But
yeah.
it never hurt me.
Yeah.
I never felt like it was going to do harm to me. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It just harmed you psychologically.
Yes. Because I didn't know how to deal with it. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like
I do.
I didn't know what it was. I remember going to school and saying, "Guys, I saw a ghost." And people laughed at me. Like
Yeah.
kids were like, "Whatever." So like, what did they call me? I don't remember what they called me. It was like, ghost boy or something like that. Something stupid like that.
Uh,
But, I think I just wanted to share it with someone,
mhm.
like that that I saw this and I'm trying to deal with it and I don't know how. So I think
Exactly.
that was my first real experience.
Wow,
Um,
that's
and it could have been better. It could have been a
it,
better.
it could have been a yeah. Well, first of all, my heart breaks for you having to deal with that alone. That
It
really
that made it hard for
sucks.
sure.
Yeah, and my daughter is 13 right
Hmm.
now, so I think about her and
Yeah,
what, oh my gosh, I can't even imagine. Um, yeah, that'd make me a firm believer.
yeah.
And what do they call that when and that's how they say the majority of it happens out of the corners of your
Hmm.
eyes and your periphery, right? Like,
Yeah.
but what do they call that black, like shadow figures? So,
There's a lot of names. Because I've heard that, like I've read, the ghost, ghost recountings and stuff, and a lot of people have said that it's knock it off, you're freaking me out, you guys. Um,
that's not helping matters.
yeah, um, yeah, apparitions, or there's a name for it, for that specific
Hmm.
thing, and I don't, it's not ringing a bell. I
No,
can't
that's
think of
okay.
what it's called, but
I wow, that's I'm pretty sure that I'd have slept on the front porch if I had been in my bed and seen things underneath,
yeah.
like the shadows underneath my door. Like I remember growing up sleeping with the damn light on for
Mhm.
like years and with all my stuffed animals because
Mhm.
God forbid what was underneath the bed
Yeah.
or in the closet or whatever. And then you're alone with your mind,
Yes.
talk about a mind fuck.
Yeah, your mind
Sorry.
could be your worst enemy. I
Oh
always
yeah.
say that. Like, it knows how to scare you.
It Yeah, it definitely can. Yeah,
Yeah.
I agree.
So I
Uh,
think some of that. So some of it nowadays is just like, I want to understand. Like, I want to know, like, how things work, and I don't want to be afraid. Like, I don't
yeah,
want it to be scary. I want to understand what it is. And I think it's interesting how, like, things that are supernatural or unexplained or weird, or you know there's like a scary thing, and I think that's interesting psychologically. Hush.
it's
I
that
bet there's
fear
deer
of the
outside.
unknown. Yeah,
But
it's
why
that.
though?
Oh yeah. Well, and do you think that do you think the curiosity, the need to know why, is also kind of a therapeutic thing?
Hmm. Absolutely.
Healing the childhood
For
trauma
sure.
of
Yeah.
understanding why.
Yeah. For sure.
So, wow.
Definitely.
Have
Definitely.
and you have you had lots of experiences throughout your adulthood, the rest of the 40 years after that?
I
Like,
I would
did
say
you
I've
actively seek that out?
I was actively curious after that.
Sure.
I remember being thankful that I didn't live there anymore, but I would go back to that house. I would ride my bike to that house and look at it.
Really
Me and my
interesting.
sister, we would, if we would go back to Lancaster, we would go and look at that house. I
Almost
think it
want to knock
was,
on the door and see if anybody else that lives there
see,
now has
I've
had any
always,
problems.
always wanted to do that. I've always wanted
Road
to
trip,
ask. Yeah, road trip. It's
California.
2309 West Dallin Street,
Oh
Lancaster,
wow.
California.
See, I mean, how many places did you grow up or did you live in? Yeah, okay.
Many.
And you remember that address
Yeah,
specifically. I mean, it's different for me. I grew up in two spots. You did, had more than me. So
yeah. And
yeah, that's
I was telling my
quite
wife that
influential.
your bestie Rhiannon about how I love that you guys, like, she was born here in this town. Her dad was born here in this town. Like, she's lived in, maybe four different places or something. And I'm
Uh-huh.
like, man, I can't imagine that. But I love that. I think that's cool. I mean, it's your roots.
Small town.
You know the place, and you know that the house, and the familiarity with it and stuff
Yeah.
is comforting, I would think.
Do you think yours is haunted?
No, I do, and I was afraid, like when Rhiannon asked me, I didn't want her to ask me.
Hmm.
So for people that are watching, I live with her and her dad. This house has been in their family for, I don't even know, generations, I
Ever.
guess.
Hmm.
Yeah, it's 100-year-old house. Um, and it's creaky and it's old. Um, but I was afraid that she would ask me if I thought it was haunted. And I think she asked me when you were there, and I was like, I don't think it's haunted. I get feelings every once in a while, like a drive
Yeah.
by. But the garage I don't like. Like there's
Yeah.
something about the garage,
It's
the attic
freaky.
in the garage I don't
Mm.
like.
I've never been up there and have had no desire whatsoever to go up there,
I mean, it's
actually.
it's a basement. I mean, a basement. It's an attic and a garage. It's big. It's like the
Yeah.
size of the garage. Um, and it's all, there's stairs up, and it's for storage. It's if you don't have a basement, maybe you've got a big attic space, and that's what this is. It's not. I mean, there's nothing there per se. And that's something that's interesting too. It's like people think that, in order for somewhere to be haunted or something, it's got to be, spooky, Oregon with, a
Right.
spider webs. And
Stereotypical.
yeah, and it could be nothing. There could be nothing there. We don't
Hmm.
understand why whatever they are there or choose to be there. Do they choose? Do they not choose? We don't know. You know what I mean? No one I know
Hmm.
knows. Um,
Yeah. No.
but yeah, I feel things every once in a while. But I
Hmm.
this town and this state, um, and that's something else I want to talk about with you is like the regional, you know, um, things that are here. Like every state has its its own geography and its own stories and lore and
Hmm.
history and stuff. And Michigan, like I have, thankfully, I guess, the I've had the opportunity to see and go to different places within the country and live in different places. And I've said it since I've been here, since I've lived here, that this is the most haunted state that I've ever been in. Well,
Really?
Massachusetts might be um,
Yeah.
up there, but
Yeah.
Michigan, but Michigan's different. Michigan has this another this another episode, but Michigan has like um, I don't know if it's ghosts, it's something else, and it's at
Yeah.
night.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's
Is this kind
something,
of where this comes into that whole cryptids thing that we were
maybe,
talking about?
I don't know. I don't know what it is. I do have another story that I will bring up another time that I'll have you on,
Yeah.
where I kind of was face to face with something and I don't know what it was. Um, but I
You
don't
got
know.
some stories. Yeah.
I have a lot of stories.
Michigan, we went to the Curiosities and Oddities Festival
Mhm.
in Charlotte, not Charlotte.
Charlotte.
Any Michigander will tell you that for sure.
Yeah.
It was awesome that it was on their courthouse lawn, and it was so many different vendors. And they had an author's row, and it had authors from Michigan about, with their books and all of haunted Michigan.
Hmm.
And I thought, I wanted to go back, but I mean, there were so many. It's like, can I have one of everything,
You're
please?
right.
Um, so it was super interesting to see that. I can't wait until next year to go back, and I'm probably going to pick up a couple. But you want to know, there's a couple aspects, I think, and you need to write down these ideas for all these shows you've got
For sure.
that are up as they're popping up. But um, the one aspect is the Great Lakes.
Hmm.
We have a lot of people have died in the Great Lakes. And I know that we talked about spirits being negative or positive or whatever, could be both or whatnot. But I think there's that aspect. And like you mentioned, the nighttime,
Hmm.
the vastness of the forests, and there is a little bit of something. I hadn't really thought about it until you just said
I'm
that.
sorry.
No, 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 you're good. Matt, my stepson,
Hmm.
actually has made a comment about my garage at night specifically.
Really?
Yeah, and it's not his favorite place to be. And then we have our ghost dog. But it's like, and it's kind of one of those things. We have we live in town, but we have the woods behind our house, so we don't really have any. It's kind of nice. You kind of got the country in
Yeah.
town,
I
right?
I love it. I think it's super cool.
Well, and it's wild kingdom back there, right?
Right.
Deer and turkey and fox and skunks, raccoons, all the things, right? And so many things be rustling and making noise back there,
Hmm.
and it's made me wonder from time to time.
Oh
We
yeah.
got we got night vision goggles
As you should wonder. Yeah.
so we could see back there because Buster will just start barking randomly,
Hmm.
and it could be some kids walking through there or whatever, but you just don't
Right.
know. And I gotta tell you about my ghost dog real quick.
Yeah,
So
for sure.
kind of my fun. This
This
is
is the
really
place
about
for it.
literally the only thing I have to say. Like my only story, besides places I've visited. But um, I'd be in the kitchen and I stand a lot in the kitchen and just watch my phone or read or just do whatever, putter around. And I would hear, my dog will jump on the door when he wants in and it makes a scratching kind of noise. And it's like automatic now. Hear it, go to the door, let the dog in, because you know how it goes, in and out,
Mhm.
in and out, in and out all day. Well, I would hear that noise and I would instinctively go to the door, and Buster is in the living room. He's not outside. And I'm like, whatever, okay, it's just something, some wind, I don't know. So I just heard something else, something fell or whatever. Well, it happens a heck of an awful lot, like way too many times for it to be
Mhm.
explained by something falling in the pantry or whatever, right? So many times I've walked to that damn door to let the dog in. He's not there. He's in the living
You're
room.
like,
Well, I finally said something to Matt
mhm.
because my stepson lives with us. And so it's like, he's like, I hear that too. He's like, I have heard that too. And so we've had many conversations about that. I'm like, we're convinced. Now, Jeremy doesn't believe it, but I don't think he can hear it anyways. But I swear, so Matt and I kind of joke about our ghost dog. No bad feelings,
Right.
no wonky I was a dog for crying out loud. What kind of bad feelings, really, little
Right.
Cujo? But that's my story. There we go.
There
That's
you
it.
go.
That's as
No, I
exciting as it gets, my ghost dog.
no, I appreciate that. I
Yeah.
appreciate that. Um, so what so you would I would say you started a journey in
Yeah.
like ghost saying ghost hunting is kind of corny to me.
I
But
know.
what
Me too.
else like, I don't know what else. So did you bought like a kit?
Yes.
What tell me what you bought and like what is in this kit?
So kind of back to your earlier question about what kind of got me started, it really was our trip to St. Louis, and then came back to the Netflix. But when I came back from St. Louis, I went on Amazon and I bought myself like an amateur little investigative kit. And so I have, what is it, an EMF?
EMF. Hmm.
Yep, I've got one of those, and I got cat balls, so we could place them around in case any of the cat balls like light up or whatever
Hmm.
from movement. And I have ADHD, and I don't know anything other than jumping in with both feet, going full force for any new hobby
Hmm.
or interest that I have. But I didn't spend too much money. But I did buy a couple of things when we were at that, because the ghost tour that we did in St. Louis was by the St. Louis Paranormal Society.
Hmm.
And he had a couple little, or he had a nice little cute gift shop kind of thing in there. And I picked up like a compass and a bell, and I thought, let's do this. We're gonna go
Absolutely.
investigate because when I was that tour involved a brewery, St. Louis. They're pretty known
Of
for their
course.
breweries, right? Literally right around the corner from Anheuser-Busch and Budweiser, you know.
Hmm.
And we were in the basement of a brewery that had a serial killer that would had kidnapped all these women and kept them in the basement of this brewery.
Hmm.
And that's the first time I ever had that heavy feeling that people talk
That means
about.
something for sure.
hmm And it's like it was yucky feeling
Hmm.
down there in that basement, and but I couldn't really picture figure out why really, other than the
Hmm.
bad shit that had happened in there. And so from that point, it was like, okay, all right, there's a little bit more to this than I think. And then that really is what kick started my let's buy the stuff. And then we started talking, and it's like, let's
Hmm.
do this. Let's do this. Let's go investigate something,
Right.
you know? And
Yeah,
I
we
think
both.
it's to cure a fear too for me.
Yes, it's facing your fears, fear
It
of
really is.
unknown.
Yep.
Yeah, I remember Rhiannon's like telling me that you bought this kit, and I was like, "What?" And the did I hear that right? Like a ghost
Ah,
hunting kit? It
heck
was
yeah.
just so random, but I loved it. I was like, I could not. I gotta see what's in this kit.
I
I need to
love
make
it.
me a kit. You know,
Yeah, and I need to get what are those things? The rods, the dowsing rods.
the divining rods or the yeah,
Yes.
for sure.
Yeah, those are definitely interesting, though I think that yeah, that's a ghost hunt story. That I could tell you all my stories in one shot, and then what am I going to say the next time we
Right?
talk?
That's right. We got to pepper them. We got to, sprinkle them.
Absolutely.
Did you go to Louisiana? Did you go to Nolans? And
Oh, I forgot about New Orleans. Yeah, what the heck? This
I
whole
remember.
time.
Yeah.
Me too. I love New Orleans. New Orleans. Went down there and did some there we did tours down there as well. We did a ghost tour at night, or a haunted tour, I guess. And was it? I'm not even sure what it was called, but and then we did kind of one during the day, more of the history background, but the one at night, oh my gosh. Oh, I can't believe I forgot about that. What's that American Horror Story?
Hmm.
And gosh, I should have prepared a little bit better. I can't even remember their last name right off the top of my head, but I mean, that was
It was like
depicted.
a coven of. Was it a coven of witches? Or are you talking about? Are you
Oh,
talking about
The Lowry House
the
is what it
Lowry
is.
House? That's right.
Yes. Yes, the Lowry House. Um, we went by that in the French Quarter, and the guide's like, we don't go underneath the, it's not a balcony, the terrace or whatever they call that, the wrought iron balconies that they have. You don't walk underneath them because it's just there's been a lot of people who have had a lot of bad feelings and things that have
Hmm.
happened because of it. And I'll tell you what, we were on the other side of the corner, and if I ever came across it, I wouldn't walk underneath it. It just had a cruddy feeling
Hmm.
to it too, even from across the street.
Wow.
But oh my gosh, I could spend weeks in New Orleans and going through just the museums and the history, and oh my gosh, all the haunted stuff. We did cemetery tours. I want to do a cemetery tour at night. We saw bones, human bones,
Wow.
in the cemetery tours on the top of the um, grave. I had come to the top of
Oh, geez. That's
the
crazy.
grave. Yeah, and they're undisturbed still. So New Orleans is just amazing. Go, everybody go.
I've never been there. That's
Oh,
one
it's
of my
amazing.
definite destinations that I want to go to.
Yeah,
Um,
that was good. They have this really haunted the Jackson Hotel, I think it is, or motel, and it's where they kept kids that had gotten yellow fever. Was
mhm,
yellow fever? Yeah, whatever. Anyways, the thing that the mosquito, the born
mhm,
illness, anyways, they basically went there and to die,
mhm.
but it's supposed to be probably one of the most haunted places there. But it's haunted with kids. So they jump up and down on your bed and they turn the TV on and they
Nope.
they look in the panty drawers of women, flush toilets. I'm like, I told
I would do
Jeremy, I
that if
said,
I was a little boy
that's
ghost.
yeah,
Yeah,
exactly. And I told Jeremy, I said, if I'm gonna stay someplace I know is supposedly haunted, it's gonna be that place because it's kids.
right.
It probably wouldn't make me crap my pants.
Yeah, I'm not hanging out like at a serial killer's,
Yeah,
in their
no.
house. No, I'm good on that.
Mm-mm.
I'm
Yeah.
curious, but I'm not wanting to mess with things that could be dangerous per se.
Yeah, I
You
agree.
know, um,
Hmm.
and we've talked a little bit about that before. Personally, I have a thing that followed me home one time, and that scared me
Hmm.
straight. It really scared me. I'll definitely go over that one too for sure. Um, I hope you had a good time talking about this stuff.
I did. I did. I'm so glad you threw this out there as an option. I love to chat.
Me too.
And if you got a story and you've got some interesting something to say, I want to hear about it.
Me
You
too.
know, anything other than small talk. Don't be doing no small talk.
Nah,
Let's get into the nitty-gritty.
that's right.
And yeah, thank you for having me on. This has been wonderful. I had a great
Of
time.
course. Yeah, we'll do it again. This is just the beginning. I wanted you to get
Yeah,
over your first podcast thing. Um,
perfect. I love it. I hope I did
yeah.
okay.
No, you did great. You're a natural for
Oh,
sure.
good. Oh, good.
Um, yeah,
Yay.
yeah, Carrie is one of my favorite people, so I will definitely have
Ditto,
you
man.
on because it's you're easy to talk to and you have that curiosity and you want to learn more. You want to know more. So maybe we'll find out together. We'll
I would love that
definitely. So
for
my
sure.
plan is I want us to go to see places, to go to
Hmm.
cemeteries and see different sites and explore, in this area, what Michigan has to offer and maybe take trips too. Who knows?
Oh, yeah, that would be amazing.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I would love to go to Salem, Massachusetts too.
Uh,
That'd be a road trip. I know you've already
that
done it.
I was there a couple times and I love it. I
Yeah,
don't know if I'd
Jeremy.
mess around at night, but I love
Oh, yeah.
I had a feeling at night. I was like, I think I'm gonna go inside, man. I'm not
Roman.
gonna go out creeping.
I'm good. Yeah. Jeremy, he's the one that kind of planted that
Mhm,
seed. And then it was like once everything kind of got interesting, I'm like, yeah, I can see myself doing that. That'd be a good time. I'm always up for something fun like that.
for
So
sure.
well, thank you, sir. I appreciate
You're
it.
welcome. I hope you had
All
a good
right.
time. Thank you
I
guys
had a
for
wonderful
watching
time.
and
Thanks.
spread the word if this is something that you guys enjoy watching. Um,
Yes.
Share the link.
Comment, follow, share, all of it to
Yes,
all the
all that
socials.
stuff. All that stuff. Until next time, we don't have a really set schedule. We just kind of record when we can, but hope to do the next episode pretty soon. I don't know what it's going to be about. It could be just this part two. I don't know. We're kind of playing it by ear. So thank you, Carrie. And we'll
Yeah,
talk to you
thanks,
guys
Greg.
again. Appreciate it.
Bye.